and get it on the air. You know, there's been a lot of debate about switching to a strong mayor form of government in Colorado Springs, but as our friends from the Business Journal found out, an obscure city ordinance could derail that effort altogether. John Hazelhurst has been looking into this. He joins us now with the scoop. Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, so basically there's an ordinance that dates back to 1992, and it says what?
Well, it is a single subject ordinance. It regulates the content of initiatives, citizen or even council-referred initiatives that would amend the charter or amend city ordinance. And it simply says that these initiatives have to be restricted to a single subject. That was to prohibit the practice of what is called log rolling, to put a whole lot of dissimilar subjects in one initiative and then just highlight one of them and say, oh, the other ones aren't important.
So how does the strong mayor concept come into play with this ordinance? Obviously, there was a town hall recently about, for people to give their input. Proponents of that strong mayor concept must know about this ordinance.
Well, they do, and they're trying to dance around it.
Okay.
They're suggesting well over 20 substantive changes to the charter, all wrapped around the, well, this is what we need to have a strong mayor. But I'm not sure, looking at the history of the strong mayor, not strong mayor, but the single subject ordinance, there have been about 23 proposed initiatives rejected since 2002 because they did not conform to the single subject.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it is. Now, many of those were submitted by Douglas Bruce, who is notorious for, shall we say, for submitting extremely complex measures. But this one is, I think, more complex than anything Mr. Bruce has ever submitted.
I know it's complex, but what are some of the big ones, the big changes they're
Well,
proposing?
the big changes is that you no longer have a city manager. The strong mayor is the chief executive officer of the city, hires and fires employees, so forth and so on. The mayor is paid $100,000 annually. Council continues to get $6,000. The mayor is not a member of council. He doesn't attend the council meetings. There is another member of council. Council elects a president of the council.
Wow.
They have all the work that no one wants to do, like sit through 13-hour meetings. The mayor has a big office and gets to travel and be the mayor, so clearly you know which office you'd like to hold. But there are a host of other changes having to do with the basic structure of government, which basically divides the council and mayor, which used to be the policy-making and legislative branch of the city, into administrative, legislative.
Many have their own ideas about how this should be done, too. What are opponents saying?
Well, opponents are saying the problem with the strong mayor is that we've had strong mayors in the past, and we need full-time representatives. To have full-time representatives, you have to pay them.
Right.
I mean, there are not too many multi-billion-dollar corporations that are run by $6,000 a year folks. So they say, why not pay mayor and council reasonable amounts so they can devote full time? The existing system has a lot of merits, and so they say, why have this change?
All right. Well, you've got a detailed report in the Business Journal.
Indeed, I do.
The issue that's out today. So if you'd like to learn more, definitely pick up a copy. Thanks.